Okay, it's been a few months now since January, my first or maybe second magic mushroom experience. So it's gonna take a little while. This video is purely for educational, or let's just say experience sharing purpose. There's no any other purpose for this. Sorry, do not take this seriously if you have a medical condition, or if you have any bipolar depression or other mental illness, or any symptoms that shows you have any mental issues related. I had a DMT before, which is in the ayahuasca experience. So in the place that I'm having the ayahuasca experience, it was a little bit different. So it was a 3 days or 4 days, I can't remember. For the first 2-3 days was just purely ayahuasca, and with the tobacco, whatever, blow into your nose, which is a little bit unpleasant but good. And it's a shaman, very experienced shaman. He's really good and experienced, hosting the whole event, which is good. And then on the last day, so for the first few days, they're all during the night, and the very last day is actually during the day. I had no idea the very last day is actually DMT, although the first few days I did have some very short hallucination, like a visual things going on, no voice coming into my ear. And on the very last day, it was DMT. Eventually, I find out it was DMT, and which I'll talk about my experience between the difference between DMT, LSD, and magical mushroom. In the ayahuasca experience, for the first few days, which is ayahuasca tea only, I had a bit of awareness and also realization of why things come out in a certain way in my life. And then on the very last day after DMT, which I think it's not a concentration. Like you, for anyone who knows this better than me, you're welcome to comment to correct me, because I only know this information after my experience, because I thought the whole thing is all called ayahuasca. It's all by using the ayahuasca. For the last day, it was a cactus, and then I think it's a bit of, I'm not sure if it's extraction or something. After taking DMT, after taking that tea, it's no longer the ayahuasca tea anymore. The shaman made it very clear. And then we went for a bushwalk, not a very long walk, but for a bushwalk. Of course, during this whole time, the first few days or even the last day, I'm very awake. I'm very clear. I don't know about others, but I'm actually really awake. I know exactly what I was doing, what I was seeing. And then after the short walk, come back, he played some music, and he did make some instrument. I believe it's like a create vibration or something. I start to have like visual effect difference, but it's not that I see the world differently. It's not I see the grass talking to me or something. No, I didn't feel tremendous love or anything. But I accidentally saw a guy, which is same group experienced people walking by, and he's wearing those like long pants, but not long enough to cover his ankle. And I saw like why I can see through his skin, and I can see brains and ligaments, and I can see the blood flowing in his ankle. And I'm like, what is this? Okay, I mean, I'm high. I'm in this hallucination now. And then because I saw his ankle, and quickly I looked down to my hands, I was like, holy, I can, it's not my body's transparent. It's I can see through my body, and I can see all the compartments. And I was even doing like pressing down on my arm, just in case I'm having temporarily like imagination, I can see through my hands or something. So I press down on my arm, on my forearm, just to squeeze my forearm, and then I saw the blood coming to my hand, to my fingertip. And then when I release my hand from my forearm, and then the blood just drawn back like a normal flow, and I can see all the cells, like how it moves. And then most of it all, I can see all some like kind of spells and prints all over my hands, wherever the body, like outside my clothes. And I was like, what is this about? So because they have a the facilitation area has bathroom, so I quickly went to the bathroom, just watch out there's no people coming in. They have a huge mirror. So I took my top off. Well, I still have my clothes on, but I just took off this long sleeve top, and I can see like all over my body that's all been like spelled or written, and something like there's all kinds. Some of them they're all in the symbols or writings I can never recognize. So personally, I come from a Chinese background. I speak Chinese, I can read Chinese, but then I don't know like the Buddhism, the original form of the language. I don't know Tao, the Tao religions. I don't know their spells either. There's like a little, like a pointy top spell, and then they write something, scribble. But all of this are on me. So my first reaction, because you purely right brain at that time, my first reaction is, okay, I must be some, in the past, I must be some like a super cool Buddha or some kind of guru or something. And then I have this blessing on me carried through all my past lives, because all of these writings are in gold color. And then that kind of explained, because I have, apologies, the camera will shake a little bit because I'm just thinking to have this conversation today, and then I have just held in my phone now. I should have the equipment better, but so I so I see all those different language, different religions, spells all over my body. And personally, I've been healthy all my life. I'm 40 years old now, and I'm rarely sick. And even when I had COVID, I recovered within about 8 hours. I mean, I turned negative in 8 hours. I was giving credit to all the supplements I'm taking all these years, but then I haven't heard others have the same experience as me, because they all taking the same supplements as me, but only me recovered quite quickly. So might have been a chance, I don't know, but just in general, I'm really, really healthy, and yes, I'm just very blessed. Thank God. Well, I'm not religion in any religions, by the way. And then yes, you can call all of these hallucinations. You can call this all in my imaginations. So I'll just quickly go to a bathroom block, just check all around my body. So since I can see through my body now, let me just check where on my body there's anything like is wrong. I like to do now, since I have this human X-ray scan eyes for God's sake, for this moment. And then the only thing I saw is on my right hip. I can see there's a bit of like unseen. It's like, it's not a black hole, but I feel it's like kind of it's like a very dark gray cloud around the area. It's turning, so I can't see through that area, but I can see everything all over my body. Like I see through how the blood, how the organ lays. I can see very, very clearly. I can even see scribbles, like those golden scribbles on my face, and I can see my lymph nodes as well. It's just very interesting. Anyway, so come out of that session, before we leave, the shaman says the ayahuasca experience is only a beginning of your healing. It's not just in this ceremony, so you actually have healing afterwards. And he was quite right. So after I left the experience for about a week-ish. So okay, so that's the ayahuasca part. And then that was back in, how many years ago? It's about 3-4 years ago. And then early this year, so I had mushroom for some reason. So for some reason, of course I asked for it, but it was a very accidental chance that I actually got this mushroom. I got a mushroom from a very trustworthy friend, and also happened to be a shaman. And also he's quite a quite a good, like a trustworthy source. So I actually traveled to another city, just happened to be the day I saw him, and then I talked about the recent there's something going on in my life. So without unfolding those details, I'm just saying there's something in my life that I'm searching for answers. It's not about what should I do in my life, or like what job should I take, or relationship. Nothing about that. You can say it's purely spiritual searching things. I'm not sure, because something did happen, like kind of got me into a way that, do I want to have a spiritual awakening? Like, what does it mean for me? I was never really thinking of like I can be a healer, or I can be I don't know, like, because I consider those healers or whatever, life coaching, it's very they carry on someone else's problem. I could be wrong, I'm not saying they carry out someone else's problem, but just by hearing there's a lot of different like problem in people's life, like I do show respect on them. Anyway, so I, on the spiritual side, or even on like a psychology wise, I wasn't too sure that what recently all these things happened to me, what does it mean? So I said to the shaman, and he said, okay, if you want to have a journey, then maybe you can try the mushroom. I have heard the magic mushroom, and also I've heard LSD, and he didn't to be clear, he didn't say that you can search answers from mushroom. He just said you can take a trip, see how does it go. So I was like, okay, so how much mushroom? And then at that time he gave me in total 15 grams. And then he did mention, say 2 to 5 grams. Try 2 grams first, because you will still be in the city, stick around for another 2 weeks. So have 2 grams first to see how you go. And I'm like, okay. And then before I left, and he mentioned something, I can't remember what he said, but he mentioned his own experience, and he also mentioned LSD. And I was like, oh, since I'm here already, because I travel quite a long way, even within the same city, so I travel quite a long way to see him. And I said, oh, do you have LSD as well? And he said, yes, I do. I only have 1 left. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll have the LSD too. So there we go. So I left him with, so I left with 50 grams of magic mushroom. I have no idea what the type it is, and then 1 LSD. Okay, so to be honest, I'm a very cautious person. Although the rest, what I'm going to tell you, you may think I'm crazy, but in general, I'm actually quite cautious and be careful. I like to research everything before I try, even though not all the things are related, like the results I've searched, but I always like to know what I might get myself involved. I even searched the chemical compounds. I do know a bit of chemistry. Anyway, so I went back to the place I stayed with a friend. I told her what I'm gonna do, and I think she just realized it. How she's like, okay, I have no idea what you're doing, but that's fine as long as you're safe. I'm like, okay, I'm sure I'll be safe. Up to a certain stage, before you try anything, just listen very carefully here. Just because I'm sharing the experience doesn't mean you should do this. I'm actually sharing the experience, telling you not to do this. So she has no idea what it is, and I didn't want to scare her, but I did share like this called magic mushroom. These will give people hallucination, and I may seem different, and maybe that after a stage I'll be crying, shouting. Excuse me. Anyway, she said, okay, whatever. So the first time I tried magic mushroom was during the day. Okay, so when I was during the day, so she was out. There's only me in the place. And then when I take a magic mushroom, somehow, when the shaman gave me magic mushroom, there was 2 bags. One bag's with 5 grams, another bag with 10 grams, because he weighted it. And then I was like, maybe I'll start to take with 2 grams. But it happened to be the scale in my friend's place was broken. Okay, many of you probably until now you would know where I go. And then so I took about approximately half bag of the 5 grams bag. And then I waited for 5 minutes. Okay, there's nothing going on. I'll just have a little bit more. To me, somehow it tastes nice. I know some of you maybe think it's just really disgusting. Anyway, so of course, the end of the story is I took the whole 5 grams of dried magic mushroom on my first magic mushroom trip. And then after about 20 minutes, the things start to kick in. And the funny thing is, how do I know it's working? Because I saw the exactly same thing as what I saw in the ayahuasca. My body just turned into see-through stage. Not the see-through stage as it's blurry. No, my body's still there, but I can see all the symbols on my body again, which I searched a lot of online, whatever video or post, even asked my friend. Most of them say every time their trip is quite different. But to me, how I know things are working on me, my body changes. How funny. And then I start to feel this sadness of, I have no idea where it comes from. It just came to me. And then I start to see lots of like flashing images. I realize it's actually the Mother Earth and what she is, and even now she's experiencing like all this pain going through on her. Now, what I gained, the knowledge I gained from Mother Earth, I can share in another session. And then up until that stage, I was still like experiencing until I start to hear really, really clear noises. And then when I try to listen clearly, I realized there's something up on there. They're arguing. Now I like to call them the high dimensional beings, because they're not from here. They're not from like the ghosts that we used to know, or normal spirits. No, because they're talking about other things like I can share this experience later on in another video. Anyway, I was just like, what the heck is going on? And then one of them saying, okay, since she been searching, okay, we can let her know now. I'm like, what do you mean? I realized it was talking to me. And then for some reason I realized if my soul, whatever, my conscious is here. Like this body is, they are using this body talking. Reason, because if they're talking up there, they're all arguing. So I'm the microphone. Whoever gets into this body get to speak. Okay, there we go. So I'm channeling. Fantastic. I've never realized I was channeling. Not not after everything happened, then I realized I was actually channeling. Okay, so